live. Welcome to Renew Recovery Community. We are happy that you are here. As I was walking in with Sheila, she said, "Boy, what a difference a week makes." We go from freezing to feel like beach weather, so it's crazy. I want to welcome each of you here. We are, and those of you who are online, so happy you're with us. Glad you're here every week. Those of you who are coming from listening and watching in from other states, gosh, we're happy you're here. We've got folks here with us that are consistent, and we've got people here, and I know at home too. We're starting a new year, and that's what we want to talk a little bit about as we go along. So, how many of y'all have made your New Year's resolutions? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I should say, how many of you have made your New Year's resolutions and you've already broken them? That's probably what I should say. Have you ever wondered how, the way this twisted mind works sometimes, you ponder things. And I was sitting there going, resolutions, wonder where that came from. How did that New Year's resolution thing get started? So maybe some of you are wondering, well, where'd it come? Has it been around long? Yeah, actually, some 4,000 years it's been around. The Babylonians actually got started. Over the first people that were recorded that made New Year's resolutions, and that was some 4,000 years ago. They did that as a way to honor the new year, the beginning of the year. So there's something different about the time then than here, however, because they didn't do their celebration in January. They did their, because it's an agricultural society, they did their celebration in March, because that celebrated the start of their new planting year, when they planted the new crops, and they would put in the crops and they'd have a celebration and hope that they would have a good year. So it was somewhere around mid-March. January, the month, January, I didn't know this, is something I learned. I learned a lot this last week. January was named for the two-faced Roman god. One face looked forward with anticipation of what was to come for new beginnings, and one face looked backward in reflection and resolution. The Romans would offer sacrifices to Janus and make promises. Does this sound to some 4,000 years ago, but does it not sound familiar today? They would make these promises of what was going to happen or how they wanted to act in the coming year, the year ahead. Tonight, we're going to spend a minute, as we go along, we're going to spend a minute talking a little bit about why New Year's resolutions and how we can use a New Year's resolution to basically be a reset button for us in our life and in our recovery. But before we do, I got my good buddy Todd. I'm surprised that he's not wearing, he's trying to tone it down. He should be having his Georgia red on. And so we sang at church yesterday, and he probably he wouldn't say anything back because he's all talking about Georgia. But I was over there getting ready, and I had my orange on, so I had to balance the stage a little bit. And I'm surprised he didn't make a comment, so I am now. So we have to balance that. But Todd, lead us in a song.
All right, so we're all talking about doing a reset in life. I think about that a lot, as Roger was saying, at this time of year. And when we look back at the year that we've come out of, and there's always things that maybe we're not happy about and want to change, and so that's what resolutions are all about. And for me, I think something that I try to do every year is just to remind myself that I always want to be pursuing Christ, that I always want Him to be first. And it never fails. There are things that creep up in my life throughout the course of a year that are not pleasing to Him, that interfere with my relationship with Him, and so the beginning of a new year is always a time to kind of flush the system, if you will, and reset and refocus and recommit that Jesus is all that I need, that Christ is enough, even though as we go through life there are other things that we try to cling to that we feel like are can either help or in some cases, well, this is even better. We know that's not true. that Christ is enough. And so this is a good song just to remind us of that truth. Reset my iPad here. So let's stand and we'll sing this song. It's got a pretty simple chorus, so sing along with me once you kind of get it in your brain.
My soul will sing, no turning back. I've been set free. And Christ is enough for me. Christ is enough for me. And everything I need is in you. Everything I need, Christ my all in all, the joy of my salvation, and this hope will never fail. Heaven is our home. Through every storm, my soul will sing, Jesus is here, to God be the glory. Christ is enough for me. Christ is enough for me. And everything I need is in you. Everything I I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. I have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back, no turning back. The cross before me, the world behind me. No turning back, no turning back. The cross before me, the world behind me. No turning back, no turning back. Christ
prayer to start 2023 with. That we would decide to follow Jesus. That the world would mean nothing to us. That we would turn away from the Lord and we would keep our eyes focused on Christ, knowing that Christ is enough for us. And so, Lord, I pray that that would be our prayer this year.
The song called Christ Enough for Me?
Yeah.
Thank you, Todd.
Great.
Absolutely. Love the message that you always bring us in song. Before Todd came to sing, I was kind of joking with you a little bit, and I said we were going to talk a little bit about New Year's resolutions and how they can be a chance for us to hit the reset button. In recovery, we a lot of times we wish that we had a redo. You have a redo. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And I joked when I said, have you made your New Year's resolutions yet? Have you made any resolutions? But I want to talk a little bit more serious about that because I think that can be a good thing. And we talked a little bit about where they came from. And you may have wondered where resolutions came from and why we do them each year. And is it because that we want to change something or leave something behind? And that's kind of what a resolution is when we start a new year. Finish a year, leave some things. You may not have some things that you want to leave behind in the last year and not drag them with you. But I certainly do, and I think most people do, have some things that they want to either leave some things behind or change the direction of which you're headed and head in a new direction this year. And I hope that you have the opportunity to, or take the opportunity to do that. You know, New Year's, starting a new year, is kind of like, it makes an optimist out of many of us. Because it is, we feel empowered. We feel kind of some hope for new beginnings each year. As the new year rolls around, it's more than just about collard greens and black-eyed peas and cornbread and hog chow. Hope you had yours. I certainly did, so I'm supposed to have now luck and money this year. So I had plenty of them. So there should be plenty of that. But it is a chance for us to lay some things behind and do some do-overs, hit the reset button. New Year's resolutions, as we think about it, because many of you have made it. I will probably go around the room and go, okay, what were yours? And we all have a bunch of them. But New Year's resolutions and recovery, this is something you may not have thought about. They have a very close, but yet a complex relationship. Each year, a lot of people, that includes all of us and all of you out there, a lot of people that struggle, especially those of us who struggle with addictive behaviors, we start to think about and look about what are some of the things that I can do differently? What can I do that will help me to fight against these addictive behaviors? So the thought of hitting a reset button or a redo button and wiping the slate clean, many of us like, yeah, where do I get that? I go on Amazon and get one of those reset buttons. In my mind is going to that. What is that? That Target thing or what? Staples.
Easy button.
Yes, I'm thinking of that. So we should probably be giving those out tonight. So to think about resolutions or redos, that should be kind of a constant theme for us or anybody that's in recovery. Recovery in a new year gives us the opportunity, if we take it, to rid ourselves of some old behaviors. At least make a promise to ourselves to do that. But is there something about making those promises? Resolution is really nothing but a promise to ourselves. And there's something about that we need to keep in mind, that a promise is only as good or is only as strong as the commitment that we have in maintaining those promises. And that's why I jokingly said, well, I should have asked how many of you have made resolutions and I've already broken them. Or, in our case, because we're addicts and we make excuses, do we not? And so, For those of you who made those, here we are the second day in to the year, and many of us made those resolutions and we didn't do it today. We didn't do what we said we were going to do. But we certainly have got a plethora, there's your new word, a plethora of excuses as to why we didn't. Oh, I'm going to do that a little later. Oh, I've got to go renew tonight, but when I get home, I'm going to do it. We can make an excuse for anything. And that's what we have to do. We are in a society and we are of the mindset that when things get challenging, I'm even a little challenging, we lay it aside and say it's not worth it. So making excuses has really become a part of who we are. One excuse for us that are in recovery or not going to treatment. Some may have made a resolution or thought about making a resolution that I'm going to treatment this year. Well, we can make an excuse for that too. Well, I can't go. Here's an excuse. I can't go to recovery right now because that would put too much of an impact on my work. I can't really go into recovery right now because I want to wait till the children get older so they will understand. We make excuses that cause us not to give ourselves, hear me now, we make excuses that cause us to not give ourselves the attention we deserve. If we're going to promise to take steps into and towards our recovery, we've just got to make a commitment to how important the commitment is that we're going to make. We've got to stick to it. We've got to be consistent with it. Recovery is harder, in my opinion, is harder than most resolutions that people make. It's certainly harder than making a resolution that I'm going to lose some weight this year. How many of us, I'm going to lose some weight? For me, it's I'm going to lose some inches in my waistband. I've been told that I keep holding on to hope sometimes when I need to let go. At least my bride told me that we're going to clean out that closet. The chances of me getting back into a 36-inch waist is probably not good. So I'm probably needing to give those pants and those shirt. I put a shirt on the other day and I went, this shirt shrunk. I'm going to blame the shirt. It wasn't the shirt, it was me. I swole up. It's all that good cooking, I guess. But maybe we could clean out our closet. Maybe we can clean out our life with some of the things. Maybe that's what New Year's should be about for us. Cleaning out some of the garbage, getting rid of some things. Many of us get kind of anxious, actually, when we even start thinking about making resolutions. When somebody says, hey, did you make a resolution? No. Why would I make it? I'm just going to break it, and so we get anxious even about that. But Scripture tells us in Philippians 4:6-7, don't be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication and thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all of our understanding, we'll never understand everything there is to know about God. But it says, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Making recovery resolutions. We talk about it. Some of us do it. But now we want to talk about, well, what are some of the resolutions that I could make when I start thinking about making resolutions for myself from addictive behaviors or recovery type resolutions? What would that look like? What are some of the things? We try to do that a lot in here. It's, the how-to. We'll be writing some of those how-to books, how-to, recovery for dummies, I'm the main dummy, so I could, and I've screwed up on most of it, so I could probably tell you. But here are some things that I think maybe we could look at a few things. Simplify your life. Can you guys see that? Yeah. Simplify your life. Leave the things behind as we go into the new year, let's leave some of the things behind that need to be left behind. Clean out the garbage, like I told you about the wife wanting me to clean out the closet. Maybe it's time we need to clean some of those things out of our life that we've been holding on to for whatever reason. We can't seem to let it go. Some of the things that have happened back in our life, we've just got to let it go. Because to go back, we're not going to change some of the things of the past. We can change the way we react to it today and tomorrow. So let's think about that. Get rid of some of those unneeded things that you have. It may be clothes like it is in my case. I can give that to charity. I can give it to somebody that needs it more than me. I'm sure that it will make them feel good. And actually, I'll probably receive a blessing for it too. But there are some things that we are harboring, holding on to, that would be of no good to anybody. So let's lay those aside. Second one is explore your creativity. Can you believe that some of you have creativity you haven't even explored yet? So I think that through self-expression, we can better understand that our creativity. Why not try your hand at painting? Now I know we've got a painter in the crowd here, sometimes a plumber. But we're talking about painting. And I'm not talking, yes, that's good. Because some people, I've seen the way you paint a house, and it's awful. But you may want to do that. But I'm talking about self-expression of painting landscapes or portraits or nature, that kind of thing. For some people, that is just relaxing. For me, it would drive me crazy because I'm trying to stay inside the lines, And I'll be doing one of those. What are those when you just throw paint on it, Abstract. Thank you very much. Abstract. I'd be abstract with that. Some of you should try writing or poetry. And you're going, are you kidding me? Me write? Yes, you write. Because, and don't tell me you don't have anything to write about, because some of you go, I don't have anything to write about. That's a lie. Because you have got more stories. I didn't say it's going to be a bestseller. I said write down some of the things of the stories that have happened that you have walked through, some of your journey. Try putting that down on paper. You might be amazed at how it might be for you therapeutic. It very well could be therapeutic for somebody else when you get brave enough to let somebody else read it. So that's something that you might want to try. You could try your hand at gardening or landscaping. You might want to put in a garden for the first time with somebody. Artistic expression can be very, very therapeutic. And you may find out you've got a hidden talent. And once you find yours, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it with other people. Next one is to give back. Very few things are going to be as fulfilling to you as giving back to somebody who has less than you. Who, when you give, you're blessing someone, but you know what happens with me is when I give, I least expect it, I get the blessing as well. So you may want to try that. And there's many ways you can do that, to give back. You might serve a meal to a homeless. You may volunteer at a food bank. Another thing you could do that takes very little. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just sit and talk with somebody. Somebody that just needs somebody to listen. And you think back on your life as those times that meant a lot is when somebody just listened. They didn't have to have the answer. They just listened. And that's really important. Something that we don't do enough of is to eat healthy. We eat a lot. Some of us eat a lot and we like it, but it's not healthy. I'm trying, that's kind of, if I had a resolution, that's what I'm trying to do a little better this year, is eat less and eat more healthy. Maintaining a healthy diet is extremely crucial if you're going to put yourself in the best position that you can in recovery. Because most of the time we don't eat well. When we're in our full-blown addiction, we don't eat very well. And we're not very healthy, and it affects us physically. Maybe lifting weights, being in the CrossFit challenge, running a 10K is not your thing. it's not my thing, I'll go watch you if you want to do it. It's not my thing. If not, then you could always take just a brisk walk, or you could go for a swim, or you could even learn to dance. Take an exercise class. Get moving this year. Let's get moving, get active. When we sit and we become just stagnant and sit, it's amazing when that happens with me and I sit a lot, my body just aches. So we've got to get up. Our bodies were designed to move. So we've got to get up and get moving. When I say learn to meditate, I'm not talking about, you could be, but I'm not in this case, talking about sitting and chanting, and doing ohms and that kind of thing. But meditation can be a very powerful and a very essential tool in developing our mindfulness. And when I was talking about mindfulness, I'm talking about directing ourselves, our minds, to our higher power. But I want you to think about it like this. Direct our mindfulness, direct our meditation practice, and focus on our gratitude. We've been given much, and we need to be thankful for that. So be grateful for it. Maybe begin the day. Begin each day when you hit the floor. Be thankful. Be in gratitude for the day another day you've been given. And then try to make the most of that day. Reserve 5 minutes. That doesn't take a lot of time. 5 minutes. It's over before you know it. Maybe reserve 5 minutes the first thing in the morning and lift up a prayer. Offer up some appreciation. It doesn't have to be elaborate. Keep it simple. But be consistent. Once you start, be consistent with that. Get in a pattern. It's amazing. Don't tell me it's not. I can't develop that habit, because you've developed a lot of habits. And how easy was it for you to get into those? So you can get in some good habits too and keep those going. Find a place, however, that all the noise, all the busyness, all the chaos is out of your way, so that you're not thinking about all that and you got all that mind chatter going. Find a very quiet place where you can really think about and offer up and speak to God. Speak to your higher power. This is a year that we want to try to strengthen our relationships, believe it or not. Believe it or not. I'm going to lay something on you here. The world does not revolve around you. We think it does most of the time, but just breathe. Breathe in some fresh air into your relationships. Sometimes there is a need for us to have, in order for relationships to get better, we have to deal with some things. We have to have some tough conversations. And they need to be, sometimes you need a mediator to have those conversations. Sometimes it's as much as taking the responsibility to get it started, because you keep waiting for somebody else to do your work and say, can we just sit and have a talk? I want to talk about some things. When you said such and such, it made me feel, that's one of those counseling kind of things. And that will help you. Once you have those tough conversations, then you can begin to build on the kind of foundation that you want to have with friends, with individuals, with loved ones. Show some appreciation this year to people by giving them random acts of kindness. We talk a lot in here about do 3 things for people without them even knowing it. Go do 3 things for people without them even knowing it. And they go, well, what if they find out? Then that don't count. Do some more. Don't even let them know. That's kind of sneaky, isn't it? But I love that, because they go, when you go mow somebody's grass and they go, somebody came and mowed my grass. I don't know, man. I didn't see anybody. And you know that you went and did it, but they're so thankful for whoever did it. And you're like, yeah, that's good. I like it. So do some random acts of kindness, and you're going to be blessed. That's, I think, the theme as we go along is that when we do things for people, not only do we bless them, but we're blessed. It's reciprocal. Develop a new skill. You guys have got a lot of things you can do, but we can all grow as individuals. We can expand our mind, you know, and our network of friends by developing new hobbies like sports, different sports that we haven't ever done before. We bought the grandkids this year. I can't wait to do that. I'm rolling my eyes because I don't know if my knees will let me, but we bought them one of those paddle ball. Paddle ball's the thing now. So we bought them a net and the paddle ball paddles and the things. I can't wait till we get out there and do it. We also bought them this little thing because my grandkids are starting to do sports. And so we bought them at first they went, I'm not going to box, Pat. No, I know. But got these little headbands that's got a ball attached to it so that they can do hand-eye coordination kind of things. And at first they looked at it, what is this? And then I explained, and they went, oh, that'll help me in football. I'm like, yeah, you're right, it will. So develop a new skill, whether it's woodworking, gardening, whatever it is. Maybe even learning a new language. There's a lot of free programs out there that you can learn that. I was looking through movies today, and there was a thing came up to teach a new language. You know, and I turned on it for a little while, and I was amazed because it was Spanish, and it's amazing how many of those words are very similar. And so you can pick out words. I just got to learn more of them. Deepen your spirituality. You know, this is a faith-based program, but once we realize, and many of you that are here have, and some of you that are online will, you're going to realize that we can't do it. We tried to do it by ourselves forever. And that's probably our downfall, is we think we're in control and we can do it, and we show that we mess it up. But once we turn over in recovery, they say let go, let God. And so once we realize we can't be successful in recovery on our own, then we can resolve, make a resolution, to strengthen our spirituality with a better, stronger, deeper connection to our higher power. You know, and I say it like that, but my higher power is Jesus Christ. Some people don't name theirs. Mine's got a name, Jesus. I'm thankful for that. And when we connect with a higher power, we can start engaging some more activities, some more spiritual activities like praying, listening to positive music instead of some of the garbage that we watch on TV and we listen to. Maybe we can change the things this year that we are bringing into because what we bring in ends up coming out. We have to be careful with that. We can spend more time reading some spiritual books, integrating spirituality into our interactions with people. It's amazing. Once you become a spiritual being, I was talking to an individual today who came over to the house. We started talking about it, and it's amazing how it will touch your heart. And you realize how much God works in your life and how he will speak to you in that quiet voice. And this gentleman that was at my house today was talking to me about how he was going along the road one day, and he was walking, and God was telling him there was somebody that was broken down on the side of the road, where he was there working on his car, and he had these two like Cadillacs, and one was pulling the other on this like dolly thing, and it was like he was telling God, was saying to talk to him. It was like, who, me? No, I'm not. No, that's not me. And he kept walking. And do we not do that most of the time when we feel that nudge to speak to somebody or do something for somebody? We find an excuse not to. So he started walking along across the parking lot, and it's like it got louder. Go back. So we went back, and it was just you make up anything. So, oh, I love your cars. That's pretty neat. Oh yeah, love the way you got them. And they got talking, and as they were talking, the guy says, I've got to change the thermostat. I don't know how to do that. He said, really? You don't know? Actually, I know how to do that. He said in 15 minutes, we had it off, sealed, back on, ready to go. And the guy told him, and this is where, and I love it when it happens. People their heart is broken. And he said, the guy looked at him kind of strange, and he said, my wife is Jewish, and she's in the motel room, and she's been praying for somebody to come and show me how to do this. Boom. That didn't happen just by coincidence. And so listen, when you connect with your spirituality this year, listen to that inner voice that tells you what to do. Read more this year. Put your dadgum phone down. We've got our heads in our phones all the time. Put your phone down. Start listening. We would do so much better with less phone time. We would do a lot better if we would turn off the TV and add some reading. Add some talking to one another in our schedule. Have you ever gone lately out to eat and you watch what's going on? People, a family sitting around. I watched this recently. We were out to eat and we were having a good time talking, interacting. I looked over and everybody around the table was on their phone. I'm wondering, are they having a carrying on conversation on, it's crazy. We've gotten into that. So spend some time reading some inspirational or motivational books. That's important. We should set a goal maybe for how many books we're going to read this year and what's going to look like. So I've given you several things here that I think you could probably work into some resolutions, but I'm sure in your mind, in your life, you can look at those things that you want to lay aside. Those things like I'm having to clean out of my closet. Look at it as the closet of your life. Those things that you need to clean out, take to the garbage, throw away. Don't go back and revisit. Make a resolution to continue those kinds of things. Todd, come back up and sing to us as it closes out. Get them up on that verse before you do.
Do what?
Get them on that verse right there. What they want to commit to.
Yeah, let's read that. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. The Lord works out everything to its proper end. Even the wicked for a day of disaster. I like that again. We make our plans, and sometimes we never take them to the Lord and say, "Is this right? Is this what you want?" I've got a good friend. He was a partner in ministry with me back at Candies Creek. His name was Jake Beard. He would exasperate me because regardless of how small an issue it was, I would be like, hey, you want to go to lunch tomorrow? He'd be like, great. I'd be like, great. I'll see you tomorrow at 12 o'clock. I'll see you, Lord willing. He would say that to me. I'm like, but I mean, that's just the way he was. He really felt like every step of his life was something to lay before the Lord. And not really a bad way to live life. Because sometimes we think, things are inconsequential and I can make this decision. There's no reason why I should ask the Lord about this. I've gotten in a lot of trouble throughout my life doing things that I thought were obviously God's plan when they were not. Anyway, so glad you guys have been here tonight. I'm going to sing this next song because it has to do with resetting and becoming a new person and not being who you were. And the Bible tells us that when we're saved, when the Spirit of God comes into us, that we are transformed. We are no longer who we were. We are a new creation in Christ. And so whatever has gone before is not anything that can plague us, trouble us, cause us shame, guilt. Those things are in our past. And what God has ahead for us is something to strive for and something to be excited about, be hopeful about. Even though the devil will try to get us to look back and be like, oh, you jerk, you dummy, remember when you did this? This is still over your head. And Christ says, no, it's not. It's nailed to the cross. You're redeemed. You're mine.
Seems like all I could see was the struggle, haunted by ghosts that lived in my past, bound up in shackles of all of my failures, wondering how long and say to me, son, stop fighting a fight that's already been won. I am redeemed. You set me free. So I'll shake off these heavy chains and wipe away every stain. Now I'm not who I used to be. I am redeemed. I'm redeemed. And all my life I have been called unworthy, named by the voice of my shame and regret. But when I hear you whisper, child, lift up your head, I remember, oh God, you're not done with me yet. For I am redeemed. You set me free. So I'll shake off these heavy chains and wipe away every stain, 'cause I'm not who I used to be. Because I don't have to be the old man inside of me, 'cause his day is long dead and gone. Because I've got a new name, a new life, I'm not the same, and a hope that will carry me home. I am redeemed. You set me free. So I'll shake off these heavy chains and wipe away every stain, 'cause I'm not who I used to be. I am redeemed. You set me free. So I'll shake off these heavy chains and wipe away every stain, 'cause I'm not who I used to be. Oh God, I'm not who I used to be. Jesus, I'm not who I used to be. I am redeemed. Thank God, redeemed.
Thank you, Jesus.
Amen. Amen.
I think we're all thankful that we've been redeemed, and if we have not been redeemed, maybe that's ultimately what our resolution should be for the coming year, that we come closer to our relationship with Jesus Christ and accept Him as our Savior and Lord. So I want to thank you all for being with us here. Those of you who came, we want to thank those that prepared our meal. We are so thankful for them. We're thankful. I missed out because I was back talking to a friend, but I missed out on the birthday boy. We had a little birthday celebration for Ken, and we're tickled. I think he's, 412 years old now? Something like that. But we're thankful that you all came, and I'm thankful for those of you who have started this year off by coming to join us online. And we're thankful for that, and we would ask that you, if you got anything at all out of it, that you like our page and you share that page on your Facebook with somebody else so that they can hear the things that God is saying to you, because He's trying to say the same thing to them. Thank you for starting a new year with us. We pray that you'll be with us. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit about, there's many reasons that we don't move forward or that we get stuck in our recovery. And next week, I'm going to talk about 7 reasons. Somebody's going to talk about, maybe Gabe, I don't know. Somebody's going to talk about 7 reasons not to put him on the spot, of why we get stuck in our recovery. So until next week, I love you, but God loves you more. Good night.